Hey people, guess who? Yep, you got it. This is Greg, aka Crazy G, with NECR New England Concert Reviews, and today I have a very special guest. As always, every guest is special here at NECR. He is the vocalist for the band Shallow Side, and his name is Eric Boatright. Hello, welcome, and thanks for hitting us up here at NECR. What's the good word, man?
Hey. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so very much for having us on here today. We appreciate it so much. It's always good to hear a New England accent. We're from the South, so when we hear the New England accent, it just, I don't know what it is about it, but there's something home that feels home.
Really? To me, your accent makes me feel more like home. That's cool. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you enjoy my accent.
We got several friends that are from the area, so when I hear it, I guess it kind of brings back to the good time.
Ah, nice. Shallow Side is relatively new to the scene, I would have to say. You're from Alabama, and your sound is unreal. Can you give us a brief account on the short history of Shallow Side?
Yeah, absolutely. Around 2010, November 2010, right at the end of the year, a couple of guys from North Alabama, we all decided we were going to start playing music, and the small parties turned into large parties that the cops informed us very quickly that these large parties had to stop or they were going to continue to put a stop to them. We politely agreed because in the South you don't really argue with the police officers. They create their own rules, and the jailhouses that they provide are not very accommodating. So we decided that a venue or bar would be good enough for us, and we took our parties to a bigger city, Birmingham. They grew into Huntsville. They grew into Atlanta. They grew into Nashville, Mississippi. We went further north into Kentucky, and then as far south as Florida, and then we started traveling. 2012, we really kicked off. We released our first EP and started touring nationally. We got picked up on several national radio stations through our first EP, and it lived on through our second EP, where we continued to garner more and more success. And then now, recently, we have released our third EP, and where we will start February on touring for the rest of the year off of that, and continue working and writing.
Ah, very nice. Definitely. And a lot of things you talked about, I'm going to ask a few questions. That, of course, being your newest release, and Shallow Side has just released its third EP, which is called One. From all accounts, this EP is truly a work of art. It has it all from top to bottom, front to back. What can you tell us about this EP with regards to the making of it? And also, this new 6-song EP is a prelude to a full-length release coming out later this year. Can you elaborate a little more on this strategy?
Well, we actually picked up a label and management company that started being a part of the Shallow Side team in the latter part of 2016. So we were already in the studio creating what we were going to release as a full-length album for Shallow Side, our first. But after several conversations and several heated debates between producers and management and the artist, which would be Shallow Side, we decided that we were just going to release the 6-song EP and go back to studio to write our first full-length debut album. So it's been tedious, it's been stressful, but in everything that comes with hard work, dedication, passion, and love for what you're doing, you're going to butt heads. You're going to have hard times, and it's those hard times that you work extra hard to get through, that when you get that outcome, that product that you're going to be hearing off One, the listeners are really going to be satisfied. We're excited to release this. We're excited to get back in the studio and really try to capture a full summary of who and where we are at this point in our career for Shallow Side.
Sweet. Words of wisdom right there, and a lot of what you just said, and I think this is a masterpiece right now as far as I'm concerned. The first song, We Roll, kind of starts off with a sense of, what am I getting ready to hear here? I had no clue what sort of musical direction it was going to go in. What's the story behind that song?
So We Roll was taken and driven towards the idea of the football team, our local football team, Alabama University.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's where We Roll comes from. It stems from that particular idea on a salesman platform. If you dig a little deeper into the lyrics, it really starts to describe who Shallow Side is, and who we are, who people that listen to us, who, when I say we, it's not, particularly the band, it's our fan base that we call our family. When we sing songs, it's not, when I say I, it doesn't particularly mean, me. I could be, anyone in the crowd, anyone that's hearing it through the speaker. So there's been a lot of hardships. There's been a lot of negative moments that's happened throughout our career. And regardless of what the tide brings in, we're continuing to roll past it, to push forward, to stay strong, to stay steady. And that's where the song really takes place, and that's really where the CD sets up, is to let you know that, regardless of what has happened, we will continue to be there no matter what.
It so holds true in so many facets of life, in so many aspects. It's not funny. We all face those challenges no matter what field you're in. We have ups and downs through our daily life, and I kind of adopt that same MO as far as we roll, but I look at it in a different perspective as far as, yeah, we're hitting some tough water here. Let's deal with it, get through it, and keep on going. And
exactly.
It's a great philosophy to live by no matter what you do. That's very cool for that track. The second track, Rebel, is just that. A rebellious shot of hard, gritty, straight-up rock and roll enjoyment. What could you tell us regarding the making of this song?
When we were in the studio, the question continued to swirl around my brain. What do you want? What do you want, Eric? What is something that you're striving for? When you look across the vast land that is the entertainment industry, what do you enjoy? What's something that you can take home and you can remember, back when you were first listening to that song through your headphones? What was it that inspired you to tell your story now that you're a young adult and you can, convey your message through those same headphones to little America? And I can remember, specific moments where I was sitting there and there was no one else around. It was just me, and at that time it was my CD player, a little compact disc player, little handheld guy with my headphones on, which, the entire thing probably cost like $7. But to me, that was my $1 million product. And the inspiration that would come from them, it would be bands, it would be, artists, and they stood their ground, and they were talking about, labels. And at that time, there was, Napster was coming out, and people were stealing their music, and on the other side of the world, it was the suits, it was the label heads, and they were stealing their money. So everywhere that these artists were turning around, they were pissed, they were angry, and they had every right to be. And I was sitting there listening to this entire thing develop, 11 songs at a time, 12 songs at a time, whatever the album had at a time. And that's the message I wanted to really reach back. And I feel like that's what we were missing in rock and roll nowadays. I feel like a lot of things that we continue to hear is, oh, whoa, poor pitiful me. I wanted to bring back the middle finger.
I always want to bring...
That's where Rebel comes from.
I always want to bring back the middle finger. Oh,
always.
Too funny. That's amazing, though. It really is. And this is why I enjoy what I do, because I love hearing this from you, from any artist. What drives you and what makes you tick to come out with, whether it's an EP, a CD, a song, whatever. Truly an amazing formation. And yeah, that Rebel is definitely the middle finger, let me tell you. I just want to touch upon one more song, though, and we'll go on to a few other things. Of course, I can't leave out the longtime great song you covered on this CD, Renegade from Styx. I'll be honest, Eric, I was never a huge cover fan on a personal level of covers. Many artists have covered many great songs throughout time. Some have nailed it, and some have not. I have to say, you nailed it. Styx is obviously an influence of Shallow Side. Can you tell us how this cover was decided upon, or what was your thought process when you decided to do this song?
To go back to the inspiration, Styx obviously is an inspiration, and whether bands would admit it, on the front line or not, those guys literally are. They are the standard. They set the bar for songwriting, harmonies, catchy riffs. Those guys they're legends, to say the least. So they are definitely an inspiration to Shallow Side. And then to further that, Tommy Shaw is actually from Montgomery, Alabama, which pulls us, to a home base. But while we were recording this thing, and you'll find this interesting because you're from New England, we were in Framingham, and that's where we were recording this, Red 13 Studios there in Framingham. And as we were recording this, we were tossing around the idea, well, how about let's record a cover? And I'm in the same boat as you. 9 times out of 10, I don't want to hear someone record an incredible song. I don't want to hear it, particularly because I don't want to be persuaded into thinking that song is less than because now anyone can do it. And then again, I don't want to hear someone record it and then totally demolish everything that it ever meant to me. So we're all on the fence, and we're trying to decide. Everyone, if you notice where rock covers are coming from, they're today's hit music that comes at pop radio, and which is fine, to each their own. But to go back to the idea of us bringing back the middle finger, we're missing something in rock and roll, and we need that love for the music, the striving that came from that era where the stadium was packed. It was it was vibrating. There wasn't even music playing. The lights go down and the crowd roars. There's kids there. There's singles there. There's couples there. There's families there, and that is what rock and roll is all about. And we're trying to figure out what cover we're going to do. Faintly in the background, you can hear the harmonies just take over the room, just ghostly back there. Over there in Framingham, Massachusetts, we decide at that moment you can hear that's got to be the song right there, Renegade. The more we dove into it, the more we're learning about Styx, because when we were growing up, Styx was our parents' bands, you know what I mean? But they were also, the bands that were still playing in sold-out arenas around the world, not just the country, around the world. And there's something to be said about that, especially in a world where, music is virtually free for everyone. These guys are still doing it and still doing it in a large amount. You have to appreciate that on all levels. And then to turn around, we grew up with that. And then when we started in the workforce, these guys are not only every once in a while on the radio, these guys are still charting on the radio. And it was that song. So when we heard it, it almost became a no-brainer. We almost didn't even have to think about it. It was, do you guys want to do Renegade? No. It was, we have to figure out a way to give this song the justice it deserves in an active rock world that we live in right now.
All of it makes total sense. You've summed it up in a nutshell, basically, and you're absolutely right. Real quickly, while we were on the subject of Styx, and according to some of your press releases, Tommy Shaw, who wrote Renegade, stated this: "The instant I heard the band's rabble-rousing cover of their signature song, meaning Renegade, I was impressed by these guys. Good arrangement, good performance, good video," Shaw says of Shallow Side's Renegade cover. What was your and/or the band's reaction to his glowing approval of this song?
I can't lie. I fanboyed out. What else are you supposed to do? You got a legend, and he's tipping the hat to you, saying that, hey man, good job, keep up what you're doing. That is that moment as a young artist that you're looking for. As a young businessman, you're walking in with what I can only imagine to be your cheap suit and your cheap tie that you scraped up to afford, and then you're busting ass all day long in order to get to that point in your career. And then here comes the CEO, and he stops by and he's like, hey, you're doing good, man. Keep up the good work. It's that justification. It's that moment in your life where you're like, yes, thank you. Right. And now here I go. Now I'm digging my cleats in, and I'm going harder, and I'm pushing harder. It's the exact thing that everyone needs. And I'm extremely humbled that him and the guys in Styx, they took time out of the day to listen to it. I can only imagine it is an extremely busy schedule for the guys. And not only did they take time to listen to it, they took time to reach out and say, good job, you guys did well. And what more can you ask for when you're covering one of the greats?
It's almost like with what I do. I am the same way when I talk to any artist, all right? I am humbled that they take time, such as yourself, you included, along with every artist I've ever interviewed. I'm humbled by the fact that you would call me, give me your time to talk about the great music that you put out. It really does a lot for an individual, and yeah, you're right. It does something to you. You get, I want to say, giddy. I have to ask, your voice is unbelievable. Have you had any professional training?
I haven't, unfortunately, and it's not something that I've tried to avoid. I really would, enjoy to take time and sit down and go through a few lessons with a professional. I personally feel like that we're all blessed with certain trades, certain gifts, whether it be from a higher being or it just be that everyone has their own place, in the world to help the world continue to be a better place. I got lucky and found mine, or I say I found it. It pretty much found me. But I've worked extremely hard at my craft, and I'm lucky to have the people that I do have around me to continue to push me and develop, the voice I've acquired over the years. But thank you for saying that. It makes me feel, wonderful. It makes me feel like the hard work that me and the guys have put in is really, really paying off. So thank you.
Hey, no, you don't have to thank me, man. You do have an amazing voice, and if that's all natural, I'm blown away by it. Shallow Side genre, to me, is a mixed one. You can hear them throughout every track. How hard or how easy is it to combine so many genres to accomplish your exact sound? I have to say, it is unlike anything I've heard, and it is so different. You can't deny these various styles and or genres within your sound.
It just comes natural for us. It's not something that we strive for. It's not something that we force. Me and the guys, we particularly feel that our music is something that we shouldn't have to force. It does come out natural, and if you're forcing it, it's probably not going to come out the way that you want to, and it's probably not going to come out good at all, if it even comes out, if you're trying to force it. So Shallow Side's music is something that is a natural sound for the four of us. When we're put into a room, there's the sound that we create, and when it comes out, it starts to find roots in several different directions, and we don't try to mask those things. We don't try to hide it. We embrace it. We feel like the reason we got into music in the first place was because of the music we grew up to. All four of us are radio kids. We listened to radio growing up, and it wasn't just one specific radio. It wasn't just the blues station. It wasn't just the country station. It wasn't just the rock station. It wasn't just the pop station. We're from the South, and gospel is a big thing, and it wasn't just the gospel station that we were listening to on Sunday. We were cranking those things on Saturday too. It doesn't matter what style of music that was playing. You could probably find one of four of us, that thoroughly enjoy it, and we embrace those things when we start writing.
Your sound is so different. I fell in love with it. The first track, it was like, wow, this is something unbelievable. Shallow Side has a string of shows coming up in the beginning of February with many great bands. What show are you looking forward to the most, and why?
I'm looking forward to Radio Contraband is putting together a show in Las Vegas, and I'm thrilled to go back out to Vegas. I love big cities. I love neon lights. I love pretty people, and I'm excited to see all of those things happen in Vegas.
From my understanding, the band just received their highest honor to date, being selected Loudwire's Best New Artist of the Year. Past winners included Saint Ansonia and Baby Metal. This is epic right here. What was your reaction to this news when you first heard you've won?
When we were told that we could be a part of it, that was probably the most exciting. I was thrilled, just to be a part of it, just to be told that you can be among these people. These are the people you can be in class with, and the people that we were placed up against for the voting for the Loudwire was in itself an honor, and it was very humbling. It was extremely good bands that were a part of it. So being told that we were going to be nominated was going to be a thrill for us, and then to turn around and have our fan base show up, the family really pulled through and showed the true colors that is Shallow Side. It's just one of those things where you kind of look around, shrug your shoulders, and say, wow, how, when, where, what happened? Are we still here? Someone pinch me.
While you mentioned fans, what would you like to say to some of the fans of Shallow Side?
Thanks, and continue to be yourself. Continue to inspire us, because that literally is what inspires the band of Shallow Side. It's the stories that we're able to take in, before and after the show. We're one of those bands where before the show, you're probably going to see us. After the show, you're guaranteed you're going to see us. You're going to be able to hang out and, swap some stories, share some funny ones. Where there's a lot of times that people don't get the chance to sit down and talk to their family or their friends and tell their story about what's going on in their life. And sometimes that's all someone needs is a shoulder or an ear to listen. We're those type of people that'll sit down and really take it in. I'm also that type of person that's going to write it down on paper a little later, so you better watch out what you're fan of me.
I would be honored. No, but you know what? That's what it's all about too. And you guys are just, from all accounts, Shallow Side is a formidable contender in the rock scene. I immediately took to you and the band's sound. What can you say about how fast people are going to take to the band? Because I do believe they will instantly.
I think as far as an audience standpoint, it's going to be a simple thing. We play music. We write music for ourselves. It's what entertains us. It's what drives us. But when we release it, it's no longer just our music. It's for everyone to interpret and to take into their own world and use it as they see fit. I think on a fan level, on a fan base, on a listener level, you're going to see fans that are going to love it. And you're going to see fans of all walks of life that are going to be like, yes, I love this. It's going to be the people that are in the up and ups with the suits, the people who want things to not change, the people who want things to stay in their really small bubble. Those are the people that are going to give it a hard time. And we're okay with that too. It's fine. We've been through hard times, and for someone to look at us and say no, trust me, it only drives us harder.
I tell everybody this, and they ask me, what's it, Greg, that's so cool. You interview these rock stars and artists, and I'm like, you know what, man? These people are the most real, down-to-earth people you will ever meet. You may think, oh, this one's a jerk or that one's a jerk, but until you really talk to an artist about their work and or music, you don't know what they're like. You are the most genuine people I've ever met in my life, and don't ever stop.
On behalf of all musicians in Rockstars Live, we appreciate it.
Well, listen, Eric, you've given me so much of your time, and one final question here. Other than what we have already discussed, is anything else you can tell us about Shallow Side we might not know about?
We're an open book. We don't really keep a lot of secrets. The secrets that we do keep, we don't keep them very well. We're pretty apt to tell the story and be the first to do so. I guess one thing that we have been holding in our pocket that you mentioned earlier is that we will be in the studio again this year, and we will be writing and recording and working on new music to come out.
Nice. I got to be honest with you, I am already itching to get some of that. Again, I loved it. I loved every track off of one. It did not disappoint. You gave a little bit of everything in every song, including the Renegade cover. It really was a well-rounded, solid 6-song EP, and that's very hard to do today. So, good job to you and the guys. I hope it's just as good, if not better, when you go back into the studio. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Boatright, vocalist for the amazing band Shallow Side. I want to take the time now to thank you, wish you the best of luck, not only in your own life, the band's life. I wish you the best of luck with the new EP1, for everything else as well. I hope it all works out for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for having us today, and we appreciate you. And I want to let you know, from a personal standpoint, thank you on behalf of other musicians and the people that you interview. You keep rock and roll alive, and for that, our hats are off to you. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're welcome. I love it. I love doing it, and I'll keep doing it until I'm 6 feet under. So that I guarantee to you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Eric Boatright, vocalist, Shallow Side. Again, thank you so much. Keep on putting out that kick-ass Southern rock and roll, my friend.
Yes.
We'll talk to you soon then, hopefully.
All right, I'm looking forward to it, buddy. You guys have a good day.
All right, you too, Eric.
Later.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Eric Boatright, vocalist for the band Shallow Side. Check out their new 6-song EP, One. You're not going to be disappointed. They are something special. Check them out. You'll love them. This is you-know-who, once again, Greg, a.k.a. Crazy G, for NECR New England Concert Reviews. I'm out of here. I'll be back. Peace.